1. Bondi tours Alcatraz as Trump reopens former prison. 2. Controversy over Trump administration's plan to reopen Alcatraz federal prison. 3. Trump administration plans to reopen Alcatraz. What you need to know. 1. Bondi tours Alcatraz as Trump reopens former prison. Bondi tours Alcatraz as Trump's plan to reopen former prison. In a bold move that has sparked both excitement and controversy, U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi took a tour of Alcatraz Island in San Francisco Bay on Thursday morning, marking a pivotal step in President Trump's broader plan to transform the historic site into a federal penitentiary. This visit comes as the administration seeks to reassert control over the iconic landmark, which has long been a symbol of American history and tourism. Bondi, alongside Interior Secretary Doug Burgum, joined a group of high-ranking officials and Secret Service agents aboard a Coast Guard vessel, navigating the chilly waters of the bay amid crumbling structures dating back to the late 19th century. During the tour, Bondi posed for photos in front of Alcatraz's iconic signs and viewpoints, while Burgum shared images of the visit on X, formerly Twitter. The visit coincided with a public announcement by the administration to prioritize the rehabilitation of Alcatraz, emphasizing its potential as a secure facility for the most dangerous criminals. Critics, however, argue that this move risks undermining the site's status as a beloved tourist attraction and diverting resources from essential infrastructure projects in San Francisco. The decision to reopen Alcatraz as a prison has ignited fierce debate. Proponents claim it would reinforce the federal government's commitment to justice and safety, while opponents warn of financial burdens and the risk of public backlash. As the administration pushes forward with its plan, the question remains, will this historic site remain a beacon of freedom or become a focal point of political contention? Alcatraz's history as a federal penitentiary dates back to 1934. When it was transformed into a maximum security facility housing some of America's most notorious criminals, including Al Capone and Machine Gun Kelly. Despite its reputation for being escape-proof due to the strong currents and cold water surrounding it, the prison ultimately closed in 1963 due to soaring operational costs. In 1972, it was designated part of the Golden Gate National Recreation Area under the National Park Service, and it reopened as a historic site in 1973. Over the years, the site has undergone extensive restoration efforts to preserve its architectural integrity and natural beauty. Critics, such as San Francisco Mayor Daniel Lurie, have expressed skepticism about the plan, arguing that the administration's focus on Alcatraz as a prison would prioritize profit over public safety. Lurie criticized the proposal, stating that the federal government should instead invest in clean streets and economic recovery initiatives. Meanwhile, lawmakers like Speaker Nancy Pelosi have lambasted the plan, calling it a financially irresponsible move that could jeopardize the $60 million annual revenue generated by Alcatraz's tourism industry. "This is the Trump administration's stupidest initiative yet," Pelosi declared, highlighting the irony of using a fictional Hollywood trope to justify a real-world policy. Financial experts estimate that reopening Alcatraz as a prison would require an initial investment of hundreds of millions of dollars and ongoing annual costs of up to $100 million. In 1963, when the prison closed, its operating costs were more than 3 times those of any other federal facility. As the debate continues, the question remains, will the nation's most iconic prison ever become a symbol of justice or a flashpoint for political division? 2. Controversy over Trump administration's plan to reopen Alcatraz federal prison. A political firestorm is erupting over plans to resurrect America's most infamous island prison, and California's governor isn't buying it for a second. Here's the explosive standoff you need to understand. Governor Gavin Newsom's team openly mocked the Trump administration's push to reopen Alcatraz as a federal prison after high-ranking officials toured the site. Communications Director Izzy Gardon delivered a blistering dismissal. Pam Bondi will reopen Alcatraz the same day Trump lets her release the Epstein files. So, never. This sarcastic jab directly ties the prison proposal to the politically sensitive Epstein case, implying both are equally unlikely. But here's the twist: this isn't just political theater. The administration is dead serious. Attorney General Pam Bondi and Interior Secretary Doug Burgum visited Alcatraz to advance President Trump's controversial plan, first floated in a May Truth social post, to transform the defunct penitentiary into a maximum security facility for the most ruthless and violent offenders. Burgum doubled down on X, formerly Twitter, announcing work had begun to renovate and reopen the site to house the most dangerous criminals and illegals, framing it as key to restoring safety, justice, and order. Yet this ambitious vision faces fierce resistance. The National Parks Conservation Association immediately rejected Burgum's proposal to strip National Park Service control of the island. Kristen Brengel, their senior vice president, warned, "Congress now faces a choice: to allow our national parks to be sacrificed for political gain." Her statement underscores the high stakes. Alcatraz isn't just real estate but a cultural landmark attracting 1.6 million visitors yearly and generating $60 million in revenue. Converting it into a prison could erase public access to a pivotal piece of American history. And this is where the battle gets explosive. House Republicans plan to introduce legislation enabling the prison's revival, a move Nancy Pelosi slammed as the Trump administration's stupidest initiative yet. A former speaker sharply questioned both the logic and funding. How could they afford billions for Alcatraz when they are adding trillions to the debt? Calling it a diversionary tactic from tax bill fallout, Pelosi vowed Democrats would deploy every parliamentary tactic to block what she termed lunacy. Now, let's rewind the clock. Why does this 22.5-acre rock ignite such passion? Originally operating from 1934 to 1963, Alcatraz held legends like Al Capone before closing due to exorbitant operating costs, reportedly triple those of mainland prisons. Its eerie allure now draws tourists worldwide. But here's the billion-dollar question: can a site designed for isolation 70 years ago feasibly house modern prisoners without compromising its cultural value? What do you think? Is reviving the Rock a bold solution for crime or a historic travesty? Could this plan survive legal and budgetary hurdles? Drop your take below. We're debating whether America's past should imprison its future. // July 17, 2025 by Olivia Heber, Skate News reporter, olivia.heber@sfgate.com. 3. Trump administration plans to reopen Alcatraz. What you need to know. In a move that has sparked both intrigue and controversy, the Trump administration has confirmed plans to reopen the notorious Alcatraz prison. Interior Secretary Doug Burgum made the announcement on X, following a tour of the island with U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi. The administration intends to renovate and reopen the site to house the most dangerous criminals and illegal immigrants, a decision that has been met with mixed reactions. President Donald Trump first called for the reopening of the dilapidated prison in May, aiming to house the nation's most ruthless and violent offenders. Bureau of Prisons Director William Marshall had previously visited the island and expressed confidence in its potential to reopen as a prison. However, the proposal has been met with sharp rebukes from several prominent California politicians. Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi, de San Francisco, criticized the plan as a diversionary tactic to draw Americans' focus away from Trump's recent Big, Beautiful bill. She also questioned how the administration would fund the repairs, estimated to cost nearly $1 billion. Governor Gavin Newsom's office echoed Pelosi's sentiments, calling the proposal a distraction and deriding the Trump administration's plan. The prison on Alcatraz shut down in 1963 due to its high operating costs and the worsening condition of many of its structures. It later reopened as part of the National Park Service and has since served as a San Francisco tourist landmark. But here's where it gets controversial. The decision to reopen Alcatraz raises questions about the administration's priorities and the potential impact on the local community and tourism industry. And this is the part most people miss. The prison's history and its transformation into a tourist attraction are a testament to the power of rehabilitation and the potential for change. So, what do you think? Is the reopening of Alcatraz a step forward or a step back?